right, I think we can go ahead and get started.
Do
People
that.
might tune in a bit later, as usual, so we'll just go ahead and kick it off. I'm going to first and foremost introduce myself, so you're not wondering who I am. I'm Olivia, and I'm from The Plate. And what The Plate is a new platform that's on a mission to empower talented food entrepreneurs like Palami, to inspire their community, like all of you, who are hungry for tips and knowledge from the culinary world. So we are beyond excited to have Palami on board, and she has a lovely channel with us. So I recommend everyone to check that out. I'm going to send the link actually so you can all look at it. We are completely drawn in by Palami's cooking style and her knowledge of spices, which I think is the essence in all of her dishes. And she has a lot of knowledge to share, and I cannot wait to learn more from her. So, if you guys have any questions during the event, please feel free to ask. And yeah, I will let Parani take it away and run us through her golden milk. I cannot wait.
Thank you so much, Olivia. What a nice welcome. Thank you, everybody who has joined in. I'm not sure if you're cooking along with me or not. If yes, then you can just drop it in the chat box. If you're cooking, then I know anybody is following, if anyone is with me. If not, it's also fine. You can always just watch it along and then make it at your preferred time. So I'm just going to give a brief about what golden milk is and how the whole, the exciting transition it has happened over the last few years. Now, I'm really excited to be a part of The Plate because I think people who have already been following me for so many months or years already know that I talk about Indian food. But what I don't talk about is the benefit of a spice, that what it does to your body and why is it important and why should we eat what we eat. For example, what does black pepper do? What does cinnamon do to your body, etc., etc. So that's why I'm really excited at The Plate, because that's the aim at this particular channel, which I do not talk at any other event or at my Instagram or in my cookbooks, but I'm excited to do that via The Plate. So today we are going to be talking about golden milk, but it was a name that has come to existence, I would say, since the last 10 years. But for anybody who has an Indian background or has lived in India, knows what a golden milk is, and we call it haldi ka doodh. Haldi is nothing but turmeric or kurkuma. And this is what you have. You find the kurkuma packets or jars at any supermarket, and doodh is milk. Now, given that India is a country which really believes in the power of milk, most of our drinks, healing drinks, are also based on milk. Now, what's good to know is about haldi or kurkuma is something that we use for everything, because I don't know if you guys know already about it, but kurkuma is the best antiseptic that's known to humankind, the best anti-inflammatory that's known. So if you end up consuming turmeric every day in whatever form, in your butter, on your toasty, in your curries, in whatever form, or in the milk that we make now, you are actually just gaining a lot of immunity already in your body. And what my mother would do, or what a lot of Indians would do in India also, is make a paste of turmeric powder. And this is a good tip for somebody who hasn't tried it before. With a little bit of water and kurkuma powder, you can actually make a paste. And if you have scratch, if you've fallen down somewhere, you've rubbed yourself while you were cycling, or if there was an oil blister created, just add a little bit of turmeric paste, and you are free from any scars that it can cause, or any infection that you might have because of it. So it's really not just internally, but also externally really beneficial. So kurkuma also helps with getting rid of sunburn and things like that. So there's just a lot, and we will talk about just turmeric maybe in another session too. But for now, we will just talk about why this milk is immunity boosting and how everybody can make it at home.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. And
So
it's the perfect shirt that you're wearing right now.
exactly, I was just gonna say, do I get extra points for wearing yellow? Because
Absolutely.
So what is important to know is that if it's just golden milk, why are we combining other spices? It's because turmeric is one of the such spice that cannot be absorbed completely in your body without another spice. So what it does need always is black pepper or cinnamon. So what you do need is either of these two things with you. So what we're going to do is we'll take curcuma. You can also use the roots of turmeric, but in India, we would generally just use the turmeric powder. What you also need is black pepper, because we are going to use the freshly cracked black pepper instead of the powder that you get in the supermarket already, because the oil out of the seeds is what is going to help us get a more stronger flavor. Some ginger powder, because that is something which is again going to be, ginger helps to warm up your body, and that's something what this milk does, is to just warm the body up, not heat it up, but warm up from inside. So we're going to use a pinch of ginger powder, but you can also use raw, just the root of ginger and grate it. So if you don't have ginger powder, you can actually take 2 centimeters of a ginger root or 2 tablespoons of ginger grated. So you can actually make it while I'm talking, or have your ginger powder ready with you. And I am not a big fan of cinnamon powder, because I like to make my powder myself, because I feel that the essence of a cinnamon is lost when you make a powder. But this is just for garnishing, so you don't really have to. We're trying to combine the turmeric with the black pepper instead of the cinnamon. But if you're somebody who doesn't like black pepper, then the main ingredient that you would combine is with cinnamon. And just to make it sweeter, you can use sugar, regular white sugar, or you can use honey, agave, maple syrup, whatever type of sweetener you have. I'm going to also use this. There is Indian unrefined sugar. It's called jaggery, or yeah, this is nothing but the molasses of a sugar cane. So it's just like before it goes to becoming the cane sugar, the brown sugar that you see in the market. This is a process before that. So it's believed that it's really healthy, but again, no sugar is healthy. I mean, let's not just be saying, oh, this sugar is healthy, so I'm going to eat like spoonful of it. But it's healthier when compared to a white sugar. So if you are somebody who wants to be on a plant-based diet and you don't eat honey, then your options are agave, honey, or maple syrup, or something like this, because it's healthier than a white sugar. And if you are somebody who doesn't drink lactose, then in that case, instead of this milk, you can actually have half oat milk, which is the full oat milk that you get, or almond milk. You do get barista edition these days, so you can get one of those for yourself. So what we're going to do now is, if you're making golden milk for 2 people, just like how I would be doing, so you can take 300 milliliters of milk. But right now in our milk pan, we're going to grab 150 milliliters of milk. So we're going to take 150 milliliters of milk. Yeah, it's fun, interesting to know that in India, we don't really measure, we go with glasses instead of saying how much milliliter it would be. But then it's easier if you don't know how big my glass is versus your glass. So we are going to go with a standard measurement rather than saying, let's get 1 glass. So it's 150 milliliters of milk. And I'm going to just, my gas is not turned on, nothing is turned on. I'm just adding all the ingredients, going slowly, so that we all are at the same pace. And if anybody feels that I'm getting too fast, please stop me. Otherwise, I'm at my own zone and you are not following me. In this 150 milliliters of milk in the saucepan, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of curcuma, and that's for 2 people, right? So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of curcuma. That's turmeric powder. And if you're using the root of turmeric, then I would recommend maybe a 2 to 3 centimeter of the root. And then you can just use a peeler and peel it, or use the back of a spoon to take off the skin, and using a pestle mortar, just make a paste out of it. And if you're using that, but we're not doing it, so we're going to go ahead and take 1 teaspoon of that and add it to our milk. And very soon it's actually going to turn really, really deep yellow in color, but for now it's not that yellow. And I have ginger powder, so I'm going to be adding again 1 tablespoon of ginger powder in my dish.
Do you have a preference between ginger powder or fresh ginger?
I would always like fresh ginger, but then I'm trying to also make it easier in a way that you don't need a strainer to strain off or things like that, so that it's something that's doable even when you are in the move, and you can make your own mix and keep it stored. And you don't have to like really get a lot of equipments out and get bored about it, because there's a lot of cleaning afterwards. So I'm just making it easier for that reason. But fresh ginger is the best form of ginger, I would say. So I have.
Sorry that I can ask questions, right?
Yeah, sure.
That amount of ginger that you just added, is that the 2 centimeter? I'm
That's
using
2
fresh.
centimeter. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so we've just added 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder to 150 ml of milk. And now I've added 1 tablespoon of ginger powder. And if you're using fresh ginger, then it's 2 centimeter of ginger root that is grated, rasped, or in a pestle mortar, just make like a paste and then add it. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. But if you're somebody who doesn't like black pepper, then just combine that with half a teaspoon of cinnamon. But if you like black pepper, then go ahead and crack 1 teaspoon of black pepper in that particular milk. And what's good to know is that turmeric will get absorbed. So why do we not do this when we are making a curry? Is because in a curry powder or in a regular Indian curry or any curries for that matter, there is so many other spices. There is cardamom, there is chili powder, there's cumin powder, there's coriander. So there are other ingredients which actually does its job to help turmeric to get absorbed. But turmeric by itself cannot get absorbed in your body if you're just consuming turmeric as is. So that's why you need another agent for the curcumin in the curcuma to get absorbed or the effect of it to be felt. So we have the ingredients now, and we're going to turn on the gas, not to a very high flame, but to I'm going to give indications on my induction so you know how high or low it is. The highest is 9 that I can do on my gas, and I'm going to put it on a 6. So that tells you that it's not on a low, but it's on a medium. So I've gone up for a 6, and it's we're going to just let it boil. We'll mix it with a spoon here and there. And while this is boiling, we have still not added our sugar, because sometimes raw unrefined sugar can actually make the milk split. So we're going to add the sugar a little later, because of it being unrefined, there is a possibility that it's the milk doesn't react well with the sugar. If it's white sugar, it's a different thing because it's so refined. But then if you're using raw sugar, it's possible that you start seeing your milk curdling away and forming ricotta in your pan, which you don't want to be enjoying. So you going to let this boil, and while that's happening, grab another 150 milliliters of milk, and I have this how do you call it, milk frother, and I'm going to make like a frothy milk out of that. It's just because I want you guys to see that even having a golden milk can be as fancy at home than just going to a cafe. But if you're somebody who wants it to be simple, you can of course add all the 300 milliliters of milk directly in the pan, but we are right now trying to make it look a little fancy. So I'm going to add the rest 150 milliliters in my milk frother, and I'm going to let this froth. Yeah. And if anybody has any questions, I see a lot of faces, I'm sorry, names, not faces. If you have any questions in the meantime, please keep them coming. And Olivia, if you have questions, please.
I do actually have a question. Speaking of sugar,
Sure.
what is the difference, for example, if I was feeling a bit lazy and I wanted to say, let's go to Starbucks and get a golden milk latte? What is the difference now between this one and one that I can get from a Starbucks or any other cafe?
So A is very expensive.
Good point.
That's a
Sometimes
very
even 4 or 5 euros.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's just something which I think everybody has milk. You make your coffee in the morning or not, you wouldn't have milk at home. So A, it's expensive, and B, golden milk is something which I think has been, I mean, we should thank Starbucks for making it a really nice, fashionable thing to have it now. But I would say that the amount of sugar that goes in the milk, the golden milk that they make it at Starbucks is incredibly high. And it's not just the extra sugar that they give you on the side, but actually a lot of sugar that they already add in the mix that they even sell sometimes. So I would recommend if you're making it, if you make this pre-mix at home and just add the milk when you need it, your job is done.
And I have another question. I heard once that it can really stain your teeth, and it does seem to stain your fingers when you're working with it. Is that a myth, or is it known to be staining, or just similar to coffee as well? What is your thought on that?
It does stain because curcumin does kind of combine with the epidermal, the first layer of your skin. It does combine with it. And that's why in a lot of regions in the south of India, they actually use curcuma as like a facial mask also, because then you don't get suntan and sunburn and things like that. It
Interesting.
does do that. But the thing is, if you are somebody who's just got a fresh set of manicure done, I would say just have hand gloves on and do it, because getting a little dirty in the kitchen is the sense of eating food, I would say.
For sure, for sure. I couldn't agree more.
So my milk right now is kind of in the pan, is boiling. To like, you're gonna let this boil for, I mean, at a medium heat for another 5 minutes, because otherwise it's the turmeric and the pepper will not combine with each other. So you're gonna let this boil for another 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be just gone off from the screen for like a split second, because I've got to put this on my frothing machine, because this doesn't work otherwise. So I'm going to be off for like 20 seconds.
Oh, good. So Rishi, are you going to use a frother as well, or
No,
just
I don't. I don't have one of those things. So I just added all the 300 milliliters in my pan,
perfect?
and
Perfect.
yeah,
I'm sure it'll taste the same.
yeah.
Indeed.
And the milk is heating. It's not boiling yet, or should we get to the boil?
Just reduce the heat if it's really boiling.
Okay.
But you want it to start, like you have to, like mine your, I don't know if it's visible. No?
Do we want to have it bubbly?
Yeah, I want it to be bubbling. I want to see bubbles coming out, because that's the beauty of milk, is that when it bubbles is when you know it's you know what you say, the flavor from the ingredients that you've added starts coming in. And that's why in a lot of Indian families, the tradition, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you do is boil a pot of milk, because that's like also good omen or good beginning to the day, is when you boil a pot of milk. Also, when we move for the first time in a house, you would let a pot of milk boil and spill, because that means there is a lot more wealth that's coming to you. So you would want to do that.
That's what I did wrong. I didn't boil the milk and spilled it. This is why I always have a budget problem.
Next time.
I have to say the smell is really nice of the golden milk.
Yes.
I
Now,
wish
that's
I could
something which
smell
you
it.
wouldn't get. I hope I just wish there was some kind of technology which allows us to you know, allows us to go through and bring everybody to smell what's happening at a screen, but that's going to happen eventually.
One day, I'm sure. Elon Musk is on it.
I know, right? Oh my God. Okay, so my milk is done. So I'm going to turn it off, and my frother is also done. Now I'm going to add my sugar to this, to the milk, and it depends on how sweet you like. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. That's 1 tablespoon per person. But if you're somebody who likes it much sweeter or less sweet, it's depending on you. And that's the thing about spices, is that you have to know what's your preference. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of this unrefined sugar. And if it's honey, then the same thing. You can just do 2 tablespoons and not more than that. But if you think it's not sweet enough, please do it. Whatever you think is sweeter for you. But as I said, this is a mix that you can make it at home. Just have like brown sugar or like cane sugar in along with the turmeric, ginger powder, pepper powder, and just make a pack of that and keep it at home. Store it as long as you want, and every morning or every day that you want to make golden milk, just get milk, a fresh milk, and mix it, and you have golden milk made for yourself. So it's really not rocket science. And I would recommend, or rather in India, we would be drinking this when you are, you have cold and cough, and you have all these problems with the pollen kind of things, because this is the season when pollens are really active, and you would have cold and cough. So turmeric would actually help you go against all the problem, because there is inflammation in your system, and this would help you to against that inflammation. So I would recommend everybody to go ahead and make this. You can have this every day. It's just that in India, we would have it when we are sick, but that does not mean you cannot have it every day, because turmeric just is never too much in your body. So there are many spices that is too much. You cannot have it every day, but turmeric is one of those which is not too much. It's always that you can have as much as you want.
Good to know. I have another quick question about, you said, so for example, I could pre-mix my spices and keep it for a bit. What if I pre-made a bigger batch, say for 5 people, of this entire golden milk? How long do you think I could keep it in the fridge? I know it wouldn't be as ideal, but think someone on the go. Could I make a bigger batch of this and put it in the refrigerator and reheat altogether? Or is that not so ideal?
You can reheat it. You can also, what do you say? But milk, when it's heated up fresh, is always like the properties of milk of healing in your body is much higher when it's freshly warmed up rather than reheated milk. But if the time is a crunch, then it's always possible to make a big batch of it, keep it in your fridge, and next morning. So if somebody lives alone, for example, and has no interest in making golden milk every morning, you can always make it once in 2 days, keep it in the fridge, warm it up, and then have it. Absolutely possible. So now I'm going to get my frothy milk and plate it up, because we are ready with our milk.
I wish I could try this right now. I think I need to make it right after this.
Yay, I would love to see. And if there is anybody else who's also been doing this along with us here, and if you have made it, then please let us know, because we would love to see how the milk turned at your end as well. And send us photos.
Post on Instagram, and you can tag the Plate Official and of course Palami, and we will repost it, and we would really, really love to see it.
Right. So I have my warmed up regular milk, and now I have my golden milk that goes in here. But just ensure that you give it a good stir at the pan, because all these nice flavors of the pepper and ginger powder might just get stuck at the bottom. So just go ahead and give it a good mix. And nothing is, I mean, you don't have to limit yourself to just drinking 300 milliliters. I would say you can have way more than that. This can also, in the Netherlands, for example, there is a tradition of drinking milk after lunch, or what do you say? What is carne milk? buttermilk.
Condensed
We have a
milk.
tradition over here. So if you are somebody who drinks milk after lunch, this is a really good milk also after lunch, because A, it's not bad to have curcuma ever, and B, it's also, what do you say, it's just more energy and power that you get. Why not? Do you see the color in the beginning in the pan was not this yellowish, but then when it starts boiling, it gets much deeper, and that's with curcuma. And if it ever comes in contact while you're cleaning your counter, and if it ever comes in contact with your washing liquid, for example, it will immediately turn in red in color, because that's the property of curcuma, that when it combines with soap, that is sodium bicarbonate, it turns red in color. So that doesn't mean there's something wrong that's happened. It's just that the property of curcumin is that. So that's what it does. So you have the milk and the milk froth, and then I have my cinnamon powder. You can also just add some black pepper if you want, but I will add cinnamon because it's really good for your blood pressure. So if somebody who has blood pressure problems should definitely have a daily dose of cinnamon in their diet somehow. And then this is what you have. I don't know if it looks any better than what you can pay for €5 at a Starbucks.
It's beautiful, and it probably tastes better, to be honest.
Right?
Nisi, how is yours doing?
This is mine,
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful
I
golden
love it.
color.
and I put some cinnamon on top. Let me see if I can.
Love it.
Yeah, and I used the fresh ginger, so I strained it. And yeah, you have this paste in there, and with a spoon I smashed it. I smashed all the liquid out. I pressed all the liquid out.
Beautiful. Just getting everything that's possible out of
Exactly.
the ginger. That's beautiful. I love it. I would give this is my pretty glass for my photo. I'm gonna use this one for drinking. Oh, it is really warm. You can also enjoy this maybe say 30 minutes later when it's not very warm, but it's at a room temperature. It's also fine. But you will feel the heat from the ginger powder and the black pepper. It's like it's a warming thing in your throat. And that's what a well-made golden milk will do at home, rather than a premix that you can buy anywhere, but you can make it yourself and everybody can drink it every day.
This was fantastically informative. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions before we sign off? This was lovely. I wish I could try both of yours.
I have to say, indeed, you taste the spice. I mean, the I don't want to say the burn, but you get this burning feel of the ginger in here with the black pepper.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's ideal for my cold that I have now. So
exactly. And as I said, if you have problems with pollen, or you are somebody who has a lot of high kapha, which is Ayurvedic, again, I'm not going to get into that. We will talk about kapha, vata later on. But if you are somebody who has problems with your throat, this is something which you should drink to warm it up right now. It was really nice having everybody today. I would like to thank you all. And I hope to see you all at the plates, because this was just one of the sessions, but I hope to be doing every month live sessions, not just one, but multiple, where we're going to be talking about spices and their benefits, and then just have like a round table about it. I also have a WhatsApp group for my subscribers. So if you have any questions about anything that you just have seen at a supermarket about a spice, you can always do that. So if you haven't checked my channel yet, I think Olivia has already posted the channel, and you can then just come in there and talk about it.
Definitely. Everyone check it out, and thank you so much, Palami.
Thank you so much.
And have a fantastic day. Bye, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you so much. Ciao.